I drafted this short skirt pattern as a beginner. If drafting scares you, this is actually easy. I'll show you every step of the way. So for this skirt, I'll be removing my waistband, which is 1.5 inches. So every other measurement I'll be marking from 1.5 inches. I went ahead to take my measurements from my waist to my hips and the measurement from my waist to the length of the skirt plus hemming allowance. After doing so, I went ahead to mark that same thing on the other side to determine a straight line. Then I connected my points. The points I've made using a ruler. Drafting a straight skirt, is a very easy one. It's not as hard as you think. At first, when I started this tailoring skill, it was a little bit difficult, but with time, I got used to it. So afterwards, I went ahead to take my waist measurement divided into 4, plus my sewing allowance. I added 1 inch of sewing allowance to it. And then I came over to my hip line and I took my hip divided into 4 plus my sewing allowance, which was 1 inch. And then whatever I had here on my hip, I went ahead to mark that same thing on my skirt length as well, because it's not a pencil skirt. If it was a pencil skirt, I would have deducted 1 inch or something from the bottom part. So I went ahead to use my curved rule to join the points which I've made. So I came over to my waistline and I deducted 1/2 inch, because our front waistline and our back waistline are not the same. So I'll be connecting that to the side of my waistline, just like that. So that's it for my front pattern. So I went ahead to cut it out. Then I'll be labeling this as my front piece. Then we are going to move on to the back piece. So for my back piece, I went ahead to mark out 1 inch for zipper allowance and the slit for the back part, for the back side. I'll be starting every other measurement from this particular zipper allowance. Afterwards, I went ahead to bring my front piece and I placed it on top the back pattern, just like this, without touching the zipper allowance, because that zipper allowance is not going to be deducted. So I went ahead to trace out everything I had in front except for that 1/2 inch in depth, which I took from the center of my skirt. After ruling all the lines, connecting them, I went ahead to cut it out. It's an easy one. I also went ahead to label this my back piece so I don't get confused when I'm cutting on my fabric. So guys, this is it for the mini skirt, and it's very easy, beginner friendly. So I'll be cutting this on my fabric, placing my pattern paper on my fabric. So I've gone ahead to cut out my fabric using my pattern paper, and then the next thing I did was to sew that 1 inch which I left for the zipper allowance. Then I opened it up, and then I placed my front piece on top the back piece, and then I'll be using my tape to measure out 1 inch of sewing allowance. Afterwards, I went ahead to rule a straight line. Then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew it along the line which I made. And look how it's looking like. Very easy and simple. So the next thing I'll do is I'll bring in my waistband. So I'll fix it on my waist. So I went ahead to cut out this piece, this little fabric. It is 2 inches wide. I'll be joining it with half an inch, then the remaining part will be around 1.5 inches wide. When I finished sewing it, then I went ahead to determine the midpoint of my skirt, and I gave it a notch, and I also did the same thing too for my waistband. And then I'm going to be pinning it up just like this, and then I'll take it to my sewing machine and stitch it up. So far, if this video has helped you in any ways, give us a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, you can hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get notified anytime we post a new video on the channel. And don't forget to share the video. And this is how it's looking, guys, after I finish stitching it, sewing the sides. The next thing I'll do is to insert a zipper, but right now I don't have a zipper, so I'm going to scratch that. This is how it's looking. Very easy, very simple. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next one.